Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Junk Food and You. Today I'm going to talk about, normally I do stuff when I'm doing these episodes of Junk Food and You, but today I'm going to talk about something. I'm going to talk about our latest micro comic called Snack Facts. And I thought I would sort of do like an origin thing as well as sort of how we make every issue of Snack Facts. So Snack Facts started out as, it's still an ongoing idea where I wanted to do an illustrated comic book about the history of chocolate. I'm still working on that. That's still a project I'm going to be sort of working on in the future and everything like that. But I thought, so I started, the original idea was just to sort of do almost like, just random pictures that went with sort of some text about the history of chocolate. Then I sort of had this idea at one point of maybe introducing a character to this thing, because I thought maybe having like a character that could narrate the history of chocolate would make it a little bit more interesting. And I don't know where it came from, but I came up with this character named Sir Francis Sweetums. And I have some sort of the earlier sketches I did of Sir Francis. I got this, and I'll put them on the screen as well. And I got this one here. There's just a sort of few, this thing here. So, and that, and this, and there's I thought of this little character. He would have this little sort of sidekick character named Barbara, who would be this sugar glider that would sort of make his magical tuk-tuk be able to travel through time so he could talk to you about the history of chocolate. Then I did this one sort of sketch, this one here, and it actually talks, he's got a gummy bear in his hand. And I was sort of thinking to myself, saying, yeah, like maybe Sir Francis can do other things too. And so I thought, while I'm sort of in development for this larger book about the history of chocolate, maybe I'd do like short stories about the history of other things as well. I'd actually thought, maybe sequels. I could do the history of gummy bears and the history of gummies and everything like that. But then I thought, why don't I try doing like maybe topics that don't seem as rich to me, like the history of chocolate, and do smaller, like little contained stories. And I was watching this online thing, and they had this idea for being able to do like a micro comic, which is a one-page piece of paper. Then I've got an example. This is actually my prototype. And what it was is a little origami thing where you could, out of one piece of paper, fold it up and turn it into a little 6-page comic. And so I thought this might be like a fun idea for this character. Like, why don't I do these little tiny micro comics that people could print off just one page, fold it up, and they would get sort of, Sir Francis and Barbara would tell them about a particular snack. And I thought the goal, 13 issues. There's a zero issue, which is sort of the origin, Sir Francis introducing himself. And then every month I would do a new issue featuring a new snack or treat or something like that. So I sort of went through the whole process and everything like that. I was designing the characters, did more sketches, and I did the first issue. And the first issue this is issue 0. I did the cover and the back cover and everything like that, and it's got all kinds of it's got a little introduction, Sir Francis. You can download this for free. Go to candycritic.org/snackfacts. You can download issue 0 absolutely free. This is the black and white sort of prototype ones that we printed. I actually haven't printed off any color ones. A few people who have downloaded it and already printed off color versions, so that's kind of cool. Eventually we are going to be selling, probably, most likely, some print versions of it that will have some extra bonus content and stuff like that, so be sure to check that out. But for now we're just selling digital copies, and the idea was you can download this. You get there's 3 different versions available. There's a version that you can just read on your tablet. It's really easy to read and it's not all formatted. Then you also get like a single page of this micro comic, which comes like this. And so with a little snip in the middle, there's explanations on the on candycritic.org/snackfacts, and then a little bit of folding. You kind of make it yourself. And so everybody that downloads it can make it, print as many copies as you want. This is sort of the suggested size, but you can print them larger, you can print them smaller, you can print them any size you want. So that's basically the history of it. It was just based on this idea of a sort of a history of chocolate book that I wanted to do in comic book form. And then I sort of came up with these characters, and next thing I know, I sort of thought, I'll do these like micro comics that I can sort of, hone the character a little bit and practice drawing the character and everything like that. So the process, the first thing I do is I write a script, and that's basically I collect all the information. I sort of stuff I know, and I do some research and everything like that, talking about the history of particular things. So far, we've done bubblegum, done gummy bears. By the time this goes up, we've already done Halloween. We've got a potato chip one in the hopper. We've also got Valentine's Day treats. We've got a whole bunch of other ideas. Cookies, I think we have, I'm thinking about doing that one. So the first thing I do is I sort of get the topic idea. I figure for the example, I'd do the potato chip issue, which is one I just finished drawing, and I'm actually working on the next issue after that right now. But so I work out the script, and then I sort of figure out, do the text, and sort of just write out, sort of in written form, just in a like a Word document. I sort of write out what I think each page should be, and I generally have an idea in my head what it's going to be, but this is just sort of notes to remind me. The next thing I do is I take my my little sketchbook here, and I do little thumbnail versions of the drawings, and I get an idea of, like, maybe Barbara will be behind his hat and he'll be holding the bags of chips, and Barbara will be sitting at a fancy table, and I ink it up, and it's very, very rough, but it gives me an idea, sort of both shading and where characters will be, and it gives me a sort of an opportunity. There's a few times where I've made mistakes and sort of didn't like it, or sometimes I'd write something up and I didn't quite like it, and everything like that. Oh, that's something different. That's just another doodle. But yeah, so I thumbnail every single page into sort of in a small format. The next thing I do is I get a bigger sheet of paper, and I do larger versions. And this is the final size. It's not as big as sort of a regular comic book page. It's because it doesn't have to be, because the notion is that it's going to be shrunk down to this. But this is where by this point I've been happy with the thumbnail, and in the thumbnail stage I scan those in, and I put the text in to make sure that I have enough room for the text in the area that I think, and this is going to sort of work out format wise. You'll notice here I don't do the text on this one. I actually draw beyond where the text went up here, but here's actually a better example. This is one, it looks like a full page, but actually some text goes in here. But I draw everything just in case I want to shift the text, so I have the option to sort of figure it all out. And this is the guy who invented the potato chip. And so occasionally I'm drawing portraits of people, which is a new thing for me. So they're not that great yet, but this is one of the things I want to improve with this this format, this idea that I'm doing, the idea of doing snack facts is sort of a way to grow this. And so then after this, I scan each one of these pages in, and I do the text. I don't hand letter it. I do a text because I think there's this typed font that I really liked, and I thought it fit well with sort of the explorer sort of image that Sir Francis Sweetums has, being the explorer he is. So I thought it'd look more like one of his journals. So I use that text. Maybe in the future I might do some hand text, and I do some little sort of handwriting and stuff like that, but for the most part I tend to use that. So I scan them in, put the text in, format it. Now the first cover I did myself, but after that I have a whole bunch of friends who are amazing artists, and they've been gracious enough to do covers for me. So it's been great. You can check out the issues that are already up and all the future issues. The plan is for me not to do any more covers because I want to sort of show off my friends' art because they're amazing, and it kind of gives you a different interpretation of the character every single time. So if you like a cover, it's even worth picking up an issue. So issue 0, as I said, was free and still is free. It always will be free to download, and you can print it off yourself and print off as many copies as you want. I don't really care. After that, we're selling 50 cents per download, so it's pretty inexpensive. You can download each issue 50 cents, and you get the version that you can read on a tablet. It's like easy to read, or on your phone. And then you get the printable version, and the printable version comes in two sizes, because I know some people don't necessarily use 8.5 by 11 paper. Some people use A4. So there is an A4 version and an 8.5 by 11 version, but feel free to print them as big or as small as you want. And if you do print a big or small one, send it your way. Send it our way. Show us pictures of it. We'd love to see the different print versions you have. So that's kind of cool. But that's about it. And the idea, like I said before, there's issue 0, and then I'm doing 12 issues, and one coming out each month. And for example, right now when I'm recording this, it's October. So Halloween will have one. Valentine's Day will have one. Christmas, I've got a Christmas one in the works. So we're going to be sort of appropriate to the months when there is a holiday, and if not, just sort of like these random cool snacks. So hope you enjoy it. Definitely at least download issue 0, have some fun with it. But if you like it, maybe pick up a few more issues. And if you don't want to buy those, you can hold off for a little bit because I think we're going to be doing print versions of it soon. So you'll get it in the mail. You'll actually get a full print version, and we'll have packages and stuff like that too for the print version. So maybe you can get like a set of them instead of just one, or you can just get one. That's fine too. But thanks for watching this episode of Junk Food and You. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at CandyCritic, or go to candycritic.org and find links to all of our other social media, including Instagram and Tumblr and all that kind of fun stuff. You can also go to our Patreon page, and the cool thing about our Patreon page, if you're on a certain tier of our Patreon page, you'll actually be entitled to, you get sort of monthly, you'll get the issues. Another tier will actually allow you to have access to the complete archive of the downloads. So even if you've missed some past ones, you can access the old ones as well. That's fine. You can download them on our Patreon. And then there's even a certain tier where I will send you the physical copies. So even before we start sending them regularly, we'll send them to you guys first. Our patrons are supporting us. And so every month that you're a patron, you'll receive an issue depending on the tier that you're on. So make sure to check that out, because that helps us out, and you get something cool in the mail. So thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye.